Hi, I'm Stefan, and this is Earthwalkers. We're going to go through the steps involved in casting your foot so that we can build you a beautiful pair of custom boots. First of all, we're going to go through the things that are in your kit and kind of inform you on how to use them. First of all, there's the surgical stockinette. It's going to look kind of like a homemade sock. What you're going to do is slip that on your foot the same way you put your sock on. Keeping the tape side down, pull it up snug on your leg. With your weight on, you're going to stand down on your foot, and you're going to cast your foot, and that'll mean something to you in a minute when I show you that, up as high as you're going to have the boot. It's not necessary to go to the knee if you're going to order an ankle-high or mid-calf shoe. Then you've got a couple of pieces of extra long paper here for tracing. Those of you with nice long feet, you may need this. If you don't have a hard floor surface to work on, find yourself a cutting board or something that's hard and flat so we can get a really clean tracing of your foot. And you'll see what that means in a minute. So at this point, let's move to the casting room. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to trace the foot. So we're going to do a tracing of each foot, one foot in the center of the paper. Relax the toes and make sure that your weight is on, but your toes are relaxed. Don't stand on one foot because you're too wobbly. So just nice and easy. Your pen needs to be perpendicular to the paper, up against the foot. Don't go under the foot or out, and don't take it upon yourself to add anything to the tracing because you want your boot to be a little bigger or a little smaller or something. I need to know exactly how big your foot is. We will add to that in the formula we use to create the boot. All right, we'll do the other foot. Weight on, relax the toes. Like that, nice and easy. Alright, now, take your tracings, turn them against each other, and look through them. You probably need to push it up to a light, but then you're able to see which one is larger. If the tracings come out that one foot is more than 1/4 of an inch larger than the other, you'll need to cast both feet. Most people are within that range of about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch larger in one of the feet. Once you determine which one that is, in this case it's the left, that will be the foot that we're going to actually cast. So then you put the sock on, go ahead and sit down, on the left foot in this case. Like I said, put it on like a sock. Make sure there's nice and snug. All right. And then with the weight on, take your tape. One piece at a time. Raise the front part of your foot down. Put the weight on. Relax the toes. You're coming in, as you can see, come all the way back underneath to where the leg comes down. Close the tape, and then continue like this all the way forward, overlapping the tape about 1/3 of the width of the tape. Make sure that whoever's helping you with this makes a nice smooth connection, rubs the tape down, and then make sure that your weight, of course, is on when you step down, and keep your toes relaxed. You don't want to squinch your toes up, because what we're doing here is capturing the dimensions of your body necessary to actually make a boot to fit you. Now these dimensions will be altered, so once again, don't become alarmed if the tape seems tight to your foot and you're afraid that in fact the boot will be too tight. It will not. We will add to it so that you will have a comfortable fit. And the only way to do that is to know exactly how big your foot is. When you go to the toe section here, you'll see we're taking shorter pieces of tape, going underneath the toe, coming up over the top of the foot, placing it all down nice and comfortable over the toes. Once that's closed in, nice and neat, then we're going to start on the heel. Now you'll raise your heel. Slide the tape as you did from before underneath. Just overlap that front part that you started. Bring it up the sides like this. Snug it up to the leg. Another one in the back. Now, And then just as we did in the front, you're going to come around the heel. Shorter pieces of tape. Start where you left off, go up the back, underneath, usually 3 pieces or so. It doesn't really matter however many pieces it takes. Last piece, underneath. So now we've come all the way around the bottom, the foot, and now we're going to go up the leg. Take a shorter piece at this point, cover the arch area, nice and smooth like that. Shorter piece coming in from the back, coming toward the front. And you can start up the leg, taking your pieces and coming in from the back, overlapping in the front. Same overlap as the foot, about a third, a quarter to a third of the tape for overlap. And just proceed up the leg. And once again, you're going to cast the leg up as high in the general area as you're going to have the shoe. Part of the process when we're done with this is we're going to actually measure from the floor up the leg with a tape measure and get an exact dimension for the front and the back of the boot. This will come up and give me the dimension of the leg, again as high as you're going to have the boot, but we'll also need a dimension via the tape measure here. So at this point, you would sit down and then keep the foot on a, just a little bit, there you go. You want your leg on a nice 90-degree angle so you can see the way it curves and everything. You're going to look down here, and if you were to take your pin and set it right at this point where the leg and the foot join, look straight down on it and put a little mark about a ½ inch back from the pin on each side. Alright, now if you follow the bone of the leg out the foot, you're going to find that the center is right about there, even though it doesn't actually look like center on the foot, but it's pretty much the center of the foot according to the dimensions. So find center, and I will fine tune it from there. Take your Sharpie pin. This is another thing you'll need, specifically a Sharpie, because the thickness of the pin helps me get the right tracing around the bottom of the foot. Lay it flat on your board and let the pin tip touch the foot and make a mark. Alright, then you're going to come up the leg here, mark the center, and then we're going to find the center of the leg here, a little mark, and then with your fingers kind of put them on each side of the leg so that your mark is even. You don't want to put marks that are uneven. So you want to find the center this way and mark it, find center this way, mark it, put your fingers there and eyeball it so that it looks in fact even, and put a mark there. Then on the inside of the leg you're going to draw a mark from there down to the middle of the ankle bone, and then from there down to your mark. Ankle bone is not in the same place on the outside of the leg. So again, with your thumbs, you're going to put your thumb there and make an eyeballing assessment of where that line is on the outside, and put a little mark on the ankle bone, and then draw your line from your mark to the ankle bone, and from the ankle bone to your foot mark on the outside of the foot. At this point, that's all of the marking we need to do. Now what you're going to do is carefully cut with a hopefully blunt nose scissors. Cut this down the outside so that you can remove it. The way we do that is just tip your leg a little. Perfect. Again, pull it away from the skin so we don't have any bloodshed, and just go down the edge like that. It's always good if you don't hear any screaming. That's good. No screaming. No blood. Perfect. Slip the foot out, and now you can see that in this process we've captured all the dimensions necessary for me to then use these dimensions to make a pattern. At this point, while the foot still has the shape there, take your pen and touch up those lines in places where you might have missed. Maybe your center line here, translate it to the bottom. Make sure your lines are good because you can still kind of see your foot in there. Then, so we don't lose anything, take your tracings Fold them up nice and neat. Slide them on the inside of the foot, and then the cast will be ready to be returned to me in the box with the DVD and any remaining supplies you have. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that concludes the casting information. Just include everything that we worked with in the box. Send it back to the address on the box, which is in fact P.O. Box 943 in Cornville, Arizona. That's Cornville, Arizona 86325. Phone number here is 928-284-9705. Please call if you have any questions.